Donald Trump's plan to wage war from inside the White House against the ever-growing Russia scandal investigation just took an embarrassing turn for him. For weeks, Trump has been looking for top attorneys in a special war room within the White House with Steve Bannon to kill this investigation into Trump's ties to Russia. As recently fired FBI Director James Comey gets set to testify in Congress about the communications he and Trump had about the Russia scandal, Trump has been forced to abandon this idea of a war room due to the fact that 4 of America's top law firms want absolutely nothing to do with him. According to Yahoo News' Michael Isikoff, quote, the most high-profile names in the legal profession, including Brendan Sullivan of Williams & Conley, Ted Olson of Gibson, Dunn & Crutcher, Paul Clement and Mark Phillip of Kirkland & Ellis, and Robert Giuffre of Sullivan & Cromwell, rejected Trump's request that they represent him during the investigation. Isikoff's sources say that these top firms declined mostly because they don't want to be associated with Trump and his policies. Indeed, such associations would probably damage the hell out of your reputation in the legal world, and potential clients and future employees could decide that these firms are tainted forever. But that's not the only reason they told Trump no. These law firms also rejected the request because Trump has a history of not paying people who work for him, and he refuses to listen to legal advice. So in other words, why should these lawyers give Trump free advice that he's not even willing to consider? The concerns were, quote, the guy won't pay and he won't listen, said one lawyer close to the White House who's familiar with some of the discussions between the firms and the administration, as well as deliberations within the firms themselves. The rejections are the chief reason why Trump has decided to abandon the war room idea altogether. A White House official told Reuters, if it exists, it won't be here. It'd most likely be outside of the White House. And now the responsibility of leading the legal defense falls to Mark Kasowitz. He's represented Trump before in lawsuits against him and his businesses and in his multiple divorce proceedings. Instead of using the White House as the base of operations, Kasowitz will be creating an outside operation. But while Kasowitz has defended Trump before, he has very little experience in the legal arena that he's now entering. After all, there's not a lot of lawyers that have defended sitting presidents against charges of treason. So Kasowitz is used to defending Trump by making threats and settling lawsuits for cash. But now he has to actually prove that Trump is totally innocent of the charges that he and his aides colluded with Russia to fix the 2016 election. And Kasowitz's job is even harder because Trump constantly opens his mouth or logs onto Twitter to rant about the election and the Russia investigation. And on many occasions, Trump has contradicted himself or his own people and made the situation even worse for himself, such as when he directly threatened Comey that he would release tapes of their discussions. Well, now we know that tapes exist, and that spells big trouble for Trump, since tapes are also what brought Richard Nixon down during the Watergate scandal. So make no mistake, this is a major blow to Trump's effort to derail the Russia investigation. It's also really embarrassing because it's not often that law firms tell a sitting president to go to hell. Most law firms would say that working for the president is a badge of honor. And the fact that these law firms won't makes it clear that Trump is poison, and he's probably going to prison. I'm Ryan Clayton. This is Content News. Come back daily for the news where we're free to share the truth.